Welcome to Taste Like Tea, a podcast in which I talk about myself. I can't believe that became my introduction. My name is Theo. Don't call me Ted. I can't believe I stuck with that. I wanted to say, welcome to Taste Like Tea, a podcast about me, but I am not comfortable rhyming on every episode. I just don't want to do it. I can't do it all the time. But I'm back from a vacation a couple of days ago. I've been back a couple of days, but the last episode was a short one. The last two episodes were short ones, actually. I should actually have those posted on the same day now that I'm thinking about it. I'm going to do that. Alright, so, that now that that's settled, maybe I should write that down. I don't have anything to write with. I don't even know if this pen still works. I'm going to write it on this water bottle. What was I saying? Rant / bakery same day episode. Yep, that is written on a water bottle. Let's hope I don't forget it's there. I hope I don't forget it's there. Alright, well, welcome to the podcast. It's been a little all over the place the last few episodes, so I guess, it's weird. I've been, almost every episode that I don't do it, I go, I don't really want to do a what I watched. But today I was sitting at work just thinking about, not even specifically what I watched, because what I watched maybe is objectively uninteresting to people. But I don't know. It just seems like a necessary thing to do. Who knows? Yesterday I went to the library and I picked out a book called Nightmare Fuel. It's the science of horror films. It's already super interesting. I'm actually planning on talking about it if I could finish it in the next week or two. Because libraries have limited time to check out. They don't actually, but you have to go back and be like, hey, I'm keeping this another 2 weeks, and I don't want to do that. I want to just read the book, finish it, bring it back. But I'm going to be a library kid now. I just rented some movies from the library. I rented the book. I bought some movies at the library. I'm going to be a library kid. I want to be prepared as a parent to say, you know what, let's go to the library. And when I go to the library, I want to, wave to the librarian and go, hey there, Janice. There's a librarian named Janice. What the fuck is my aunt's name? My aunt is a librarian. I don't know what the fuck her name is, though. Dorothy? Maybe? Donna? Yeah, well, I never talked to her, ever. I think the last time I talked to her was, in 3rd grade, so... all I know is that she's a librarian, and I don't know what the fuck her name is. That kind of reflects... never mind, I'm not going to get into that. Because who knows if I'll even get that far. But, yeah, today I'm going to do a what I watched. I guess before I actually, open up Letterboxd and start talking about it. Anythingbutted@gmail.com. The last few episodes are... fucking weird, and I'm pretty sure I didn't even sign off on my bakery episode. But what was I talking about? Anythingbutted@gmail.com. If you want to contact me for some reason. The reason I brought up those previous 2 episodes is because they're probably weird enough to solicit some sort of response. So, if not that I'm looking for one, but the email exists. I don't really care. Other than that, I seem to only sometimes push my letterbox, but I do have a letterbox. I'm not going to get into it because that's the whole. I mean, I am going to get into it, but I'm not going to get into my information. God, today was a rough one for work. I got very judgmental with people, and rightfully so. They are fucking idiots, but I couldn't control myself today, and I didn't do anything too bad, but it definitely wasn't the best reaction. I should really start saying stuff to people, but I'm gonna be tagged as like the meanest person on earth if I start telling people the things I think. Email me about the things that exist for some reason, because I exist just like the email does. I don't know why I'm harping on it so much. I guess I'm just trying to get a little jib-jab in before I start talking about shit in an incohesive way. I'm taking off my coat. So if you're hearing some rustling around, that's the coat being removed. Oh, I wish I could smoke this cigar. I've had cigars for my... Never mind, I'm not getting into that. The first... I'm gonna cover last week. So it's actually a short week because I went on vacation. So there were a good few days where I just couldn't watch more than one movie a day. That's fine. But let's see. Let me count it because that's what I've been doing. It's way less than 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Oh no, hold on. When does the weekend? Let me look at a calendar. Oh my god. The 13th through the 19th. So we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. Actually, kind of above average, considering the last few times I've gotten between 12 and or 14 and 16. So literally, like, I'm right there. There are some short films in here that hopefully I'll have some time to talk about because, spoiler alert, they're Maya Gunhilda, and I fucking love Maya Gunhilda's work. I think it's impeccable, and I'll get to it, maybe. I started the week off last week with Burnt from 2015. The way I pronounce words, I'm not convinced that anything was heard there. Burnt. From 2015 with, what's his name, Bradley Cooper? That goofus. Wait, no. No, I didn't. I'm dumb. I started with another cooking movie. I had to scroll a little further down. Like, where did this Scooby-Doo double feature go? Yeah, so it wasn't Burnt. Burnt comes up in a couple of days. My first film that I started the last week was No Reservations. Like I said, another cooking film. A film that revolves around characters that are chefs. I say that specifically because sometimes when films are about chefs, they're not necessarily about cooking. This is a film that is a shining example of that. This is probably the least cooking film that a cooking film can be. It's basically just a backdrop, and they get into some terminology, and the most of the setting is in a kitchen, but it's just not food focused. It's the film I've watched in the last week that makes food look the least appetizing. It also, as my partner pointed out, they just serve a bunch of food I have no interest in, so even if I potentially did find it looking appetizing, the food itself, the idea of it just is gross to me, so that, Yeah, No Reservations. It's a rom-com. Actually, it's not a rom-com, actually. I don't think it is considered a rom-com. It's not the funniest, I'll tell you that. It's charming. It's a charming romance movie. How about that? I think that's a good way to put it. The reason I did these cooking films last week, is I still have some to watch, so it could be more this week as well. But my partner loves cooking films, and it's not like a genre exactly, as much as just they've shown me many, many cooking films over the years, and I happen to remember them for some reason. Um, they've also been asking to watch them recently, and I wouldn't say I've been ignoring it, but I've kind of been like, all right, we'll get to it. But then I was scrolling movies, and I'm like, all right, here we go. And I got a bunch of them. Not a bunch, but all the ones that they like. One being No Reservations. So I watched it. It's starring Catherine Zeta-Jones and Aaron Eckhart. People that I wouldn't ever be able to put a face to the name, but I know the faces. I shouldn't say that. I know that Aaron Eckhart is Harvey Dent in the Dark Knight trilogy. Catherine Zeta-Jones, I think, was in... I'm not even... I have to check because I don't fucking know. Wait, didn't I watch The Mask of Zorro recently, or did I watch the sequel? What the fuck? No, The Legend of Zorro is 2005. That's the one we watched? We didn't watch the 1998 one? That's crazy. Alright. Well, it's because that's the one I watched in theaters. She was in Red, too. So that's probably... Oh, and The Haunting, right. That's probably the one I can pull her from the most, is The Haunting. She plays Theo. Yeah. I don't remember if they made her a lesbian in that. I'm pretty sure that was a Mike Flanagan original, making his wife play the lesbian psychic. I'll get into that one day. I'm in the midst of watching Hill House again, so maybe I'll talk about that one day. No Reservations, though. Jesus Christ. It's a film with Harvey Dent and Theo from The Haunting. Catherine Zeta-Jones is a stuck-up head chef of a kitchen, and everyone in her kitchen fears her, and then they hire Harvey Dent, and they're like, oh, actually, I pulled the quote, I think, for the, like, what she says about him. You bring a sous chef from an Italian restaurant, and I'm the one in therapy? Right, she's in therapy because she's mean. She's mean to people, and her boss is like, you can't work here unless you go to therapy. And then Harvey Dent is hired as the sous chef, and turns out he's fun in a workly way, in a non-inefficient way. He can, smile and play music and talk about sex or whatever. Like, he's just a personable guy, and everyone in the kitchen loves him. Catherine Zeta-Jones is like, nah, I don't like that kind of energy. I am a straightforward, She starts off as like a stuck-up bitch. That's kind of like what she's trying to fulfill. I was trying to avoid saying that, but that's kind of what the film is starting you out with. She's a stuck-up bitch that's good at her job, and her whole life is work. And now that I say that out loud a second time, I realize that she's just a woman whose her whole life is her job. And for some reason, society sees that as a stuck-up bitch, usually. But anyway, man, what the fuck even happened in this film? Like, the thing is, I'm trying to think about the food part, because, like, most of the film is in the kitchen. But I don't think... Yeah, it's... Her sister dies. And her niece... Yeah, her niece is immediately just her child now. She gained custody of a little girl of her dead sister. And being a work-only woman, she doesn't know how to treat children or like, do maternal things. So the story is mostly about that. The story is a found family story. I always like using that term because I think it's a wide umbrella, but it also kind of perfectly describes what the film does, because it doesn't need to fit a genre. It's kind of the objective of the film rather than the genre itself. Like, anything could happen as long as it ends with a mother, child, and a father who are all seemingly unrelated in some way, ending basically together as a family. It's oddly a really popular thing to do with, like, or maybe it's just the Asian films I've seen, but like Song of Man and there's as I was describing it, like 3 or 4 Japanese films just came to mind on top of that. But even though Song of Man is Korean, but we won't get into that unless I ever watch it one day, which I doubt. I don't know if I'm necessarily interested in seeing that child's penis again. I don't love that I just said that out loud on the internet, though. That's cool. But yeah, Song of Man has nudity in it for sure. Not sexual or anything. It's just fatherly or whatever. But what am I talking about? Catherine Zeta-Jones is a bad mother because she's a good worker. She lives her job. She loves it, and she doesn't care about nurturing children. And then a child comes along, and guess what? She has to figure it the fuck out. She gets CPS called on her at some point because she's falling asleep in class because she's working at the restaurant. Yeah, just like a series of things that basically just cement Catherine Zeta-Jones as I guess on the surface level, like from somebody else, sees it as like a neglectful mother. But I think from the viewer's perspective, it's more of an inexperienced mother. And the world sees her like that. Like, the whole thing with the CPS is like, you can't bring your child to work. She has to be in bed like at 7. And you have to figure that out. And then Harvey Dent basically figures out how to connect with the child, and thus the charming relationship builds. It's really just... So, I guess let me just run through a few words about it, because like I don't want to describe more about what happens, because that's basically the whole film. It's a charming relationship film that ends in a found family, happy. Prior to that, turbulence. It's kind of like watching a biopic, whatever the fuck. Like they follow very specific beats, and it just happens to be in a kitchen. But the first time I watched this film, which is about 10 years ago, which is going to be for all of the cooking films that I talk about, if I even get to another one at this point. But when I first watched this about 10 years ago, which would make me 19 at the time, I didn't like it. If you look back at like my films I fear list, I describe a lot of like a couple years ago how I was just genuinely incapable of watching films about like teenage girls having sex. It's just a weird subject that I struggle to be okay with watching, and I've come to terms a little bit with it, with like understanding the separation of entertainment and reality and whatever. But it is so, you know, when a character is in a film is like, oh yeah, you know, you should fuck with Beethoven playing, and then they have a whole conversation about like the importance of classical music and sex or whatever, And I totally can guarantee 19-year-old me went, this is fucking stupid. And as an adult, as a 29-year-old, it's still fucking stupid. I would never have that conversation in real life. I would never entertain a man that's talking to me like that. But as a viewer, I was able to go like, okay, like I was able to kind of see through it a little bit more from an entertainment standpoint instead of from a personal perspective. Yeah, so they start a relationship. It's very Ratatouille where, she's the strong type. Is that dude? Jesus Christ. Pickup truck Johnny has something stuck to his fucking axle and he doesn't know about it. Oh my god. I'm such a mean person. See, this is why I can't say things to people when I'm not able to say something that isn't just like, oh, how nice, how acceptable, because I'm just gonna be a dickhead. Yeah, relationship. So I didn't like it when I first watched it, but I also didn't love it now, but I did like it. So I have complaints with romance movies a lot, and I think I've ranted about it on one of these episodes, but I hate most romance movies because the situation to get the romance started is usually really creepy. It's fucking weird, usually involving stalking or forcing fate or, doing something really fucking creepy. Oh, that guy is checking. He's checking under his truck. He's going, what was it? He actually did it. He found it. Is he going to remove it or is he just going to fucking tug at it? Is it stuck? Nope, he got it. It is literally a piece of... It's a trash bag. The dude was dragging a trash bag under his truck for who knows how long. What a douche nozzle. Cool guy. As I say, sitting in a car with a fidget spinner talking to myself about a romance movie. But yeah, like I liked it. It was a good movie because the relationship felt genuine. Like I said, although I didn't like the guy and I probably wouldn't have fallen for him in the situation, he's a charming dude. He comes in, he raises everybody's, like, he gives everyone a little motivation. He convinces Catherine Zeta-Jones to eat at work, even though, like, and there's this whole thing of, like, anytime she declares that she never does something, he gets her to do it. If there's something about admitting that you never do something that, like, motivates him to get you to do it willingly, but in, like, a non-creepy way. Like, it's really not creepy. It's genuinely just a really solid relationship forming. And it's good. It's very, I think the best word I can use is charming. I think that's really the best way to put it, is this film is just, yeah, charming. That's the best way to put it. The guy smiles. And good stuff happens. Oh, also, I'm looking at my review. The score, the theme song for this film, I'm pretty sure is the song that was sampled for the song Good Luck With Your Wife by Spose. I need to actually, like, message Spose. Actually, I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to do it on air. I'm going to Instagram. Right now. I'm going to Spizzy. He is Spizzy Spose. I'm going to message him. Hey, yo, Spizzy. I just watched No Reservations last week. I clocked the score. No. Ayo, Spizzy, I just watched No Reservations last week. Have you seen it before? Good luck with your life. has the score from that film as your beat? Yeah. If I wasn't on air, I'd probably read over that 3 more times, rewrite it in some way, shape, or form to reword it to be more professional sounding, but I'm sticking with it. Ayo Spizzy, I just watched No Reservations last week. Have you seen it before? Good Luck With Your Life has the score from that film as your beat. And we put the beat. Cool. I follow this account since 2015, just so you know. It's cool that Instagram tells me that, because I wouldn't have known. Alright. He probably won't reply for a couple of days, but who knows? Yeah, so that's No Reservations. It's a really good movie. It's probably the least food-themed film I've ever seen. I couldn't really care less about the actors themselves, but the characters are good. Yeah, it was solid. The next day was a Tuesday. Jesus Christ, I'm 26 minutes in and I'm only on Tuesday. It was a Tuesday, and I did a double feature that night. A pretty damn good one, if you ask me. My partner... How does this work? How did it all go down? My partner, for some reason, was like, we need to watch Scooby-Doo with the Hex Girls in it. And I'm like, all right, cool. I like Scooby-Doo. I like the Hex Girls. Let's do it. Got home. And I'm like, we should watch... I'm like, have you seen... Because I always thought Legend of the Vampire was the first appearance of the Hex Girls, but I was wrong. It's Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost. That is the first appearance of the Hex Girls. It's also where Tim Curry plays Stephen King. And that's the first film I watched on Tuesday night. I really don't know what I have to say about Scooby-Doo exactly. Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost was really good, though. I mean, it's probably one of the best. It's one of the best, and it's one of the most unique. Actually, definitely one of the most unique, because even Legend of the Vampire follows a formula more similar to like the Cyber Chase series of films, where Witch's Ghost is kind of like, it's like a 4-act structure. Like the film, like the story ends at a really crazy climax of like this massive fight with a witch, but then that's not the ending, because there's actually an even more eviler person behind that witch that's controlling her. And yeah, it's just a really unique Scooby-Doo movie. It also has the most... It's weird, I'm trying not to spoil it like I care, but I also do care a little bit. But it has some of the most people involved in the scam. Like, I think there's like 5 people that are all a part of this whole scheme. I just thought that was interesting, because like I feel like there's usually maybe 2. I don't think I could ever even pull one off the top of my head where there were 3 people. It's always 1 or 2. This was like 4 or 6. Like, it was a decent amount of people. Something very notable, additionally, to Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost. So I watched, there was like a 3-minute making of featurette that I found. And it's I mean, first of all, how many times do you see a featurette of a fucking Scooby-Doo movie? Like, I'm pretty sure even... I can't say that. I have the live-action Scooby-Doo on DVD. I'm pretty sure there's only deleted scenes. Maybe a commentary. But yeah, the making of it's like 3 minutes long. It's borderline nothing. It's just like... It's a few clips of like the film, or the movie. It's a few clips of it, just like while people are talking about it. But there's a few things that I noticed very, very specifically. And I actually noticed it before I watched the making of. But the making of kind of like put it all together for me. And you can look at the credits and stuff, like the crew who made Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost. And they have Japanese animators on their team. They have... So, that doesn't sound too far-fetched, right? American animation has always reached out, or consistently reaches out to Japan to hire artists. And it's... I'm assuming it's good for them, too, because introducing someone's art to an international audience is probably pretty exciting for somebody. But this film has Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost has Japanese animators in it. And they don't talk about it in the making of. Like I said, it's only 3 minutes long. But there is like a 3-second video clip of just a Japanese man doing art. And it shouldn't be that big of a deal, right? But the thing is, I noticed it. I can tell. I can see it. And you can see it multiple times in the film. Or the movie. I still struggle to know if a cartoon is considered a movie or a film. But so I guess the Hex Girls might be a perfect place to start with that idea. It's not where I first noticed it, but it's probably also a thing. The Hex Girls are animated very uniquely, and it's something I wouldn't have noticed if I didn't watch Legend of the Vampire immediately after. But the Hex Girls are colored in kind of like, I don't know what it's called, but it's when the majority of the surface is black and only the reflections are the color, but somehow that defines like a full feature of a person. So I wish I knew the characters' names. I really don't. But Red Hex Girl, the lead singer, her dress, her hair, and her lips are black. Actually, no, I think her lips are red. I don't think they're black with like a tinge of red. But then her dress and her hair, where light would be hitting it, like if you could imagine light hitting a surface, where the light hits is red. Actually, is that true? Let me look up a picture. I might be getting it backwards. Hex Girls. Witch's Ghost. Yeah, exactly. So anywhere where light would be hit. So if you were watching like say Naruto, right? And you were watching like Guy Lee, the dude with the bowl cut walking around. You know that little white sheen in his hair that apparently spells out ninja? If you didn't see that meme from like 2012, I'm telling you now, Rock Lee, actually, I don't think Guy has it, but Rock Lee has the word ninja written in the white reflections of his hair. But those white reflections on the Hex Girls are their corresponding colors. So, and that goes for their dress and their lips. I'm looking at a picture. Their top lip is black, and their bottom lip is the color that they represent. And this is just like a very specific thing. It's the outline is red, but the fill in is black, and it works really well. But it's just, no one in Scooby-Doo has ever been animated like that, as far as I'm aware. I'm seeing a screenshot that the Hex Girls apparently showed up 2 additional times after the vampire. And I'm not a fan of their art style in those either. Although in one of them it looks like they went back to the, at least for the lead singer, she gets that sheen in her hair. Yeah, so that's one thing that really stuck out to me with like kind of associating with like Japanese animation. And then the most obvious one, and the one that made me actually check and confirm it, because the thing is, I didn't fully confirm it until I saw the making of, because on Letterboxd, I think there's only one Japanese crew credit, and it's for like assistant director or something like that. But that tells me that he was probably leading an entire team, if he was, if he had that kind of title. I'm checking now because I could, just confirm it. Satoshi Saga, assistant director. Yoshio Shatani, assistant director. Toru Ishida, assistant director. Kentaro Mizuno, assistant director. Hiroshi Aoyama, additional directing. So there's actually way more Japanese names on here than I expect. Or I'm assuming they're Japanese. That's actually pretty shitty of me. Japanese animator. Satoshi Saga is actually the director of 19 other animated films. So that's really cool. Nothing I've ever heard of, I don't think. Armitage 3. The Millionaire Detective. He likes himself a slice of life, I guess. Love is Hard for Otaku. Wandering Witch. Yeah, that's looking... Anyway. That's the kind of thing we're working with here. So that's where a lot of the unique animation comes in. And what I've been trying to lead up to is where I notice it the most. And where I notice the Japanese animation the most is at the diner when Scooby and Shaggy are eating all the food. And all the people in the diner are staring at them with awe. They're completely just like dumbfounded by these two people just eating so much food. And those people, see, this is where I was getting to. Those people watching Scooby and Shaggy eat food, they look like background characters in an anime. Their hair, their eyes, the way that their limbs are like sticking out, their everything. Every little detail of those side characters reminds me of anime. It's just a thing, clearly I don't have a lot to say about the film. It's the movie itself. It's a classic. It's a Scooby-Doo, it's a children's whodunit. The only thing that makes it worth a damn is probably the fact that I watched it when I was a kid. Like, I bet if I try to show it to a 29-year-old who's never seen a Scooby-Doo, they might hate it. I don't know. But, it's a good movie. It's regarded as one of the best, for Scooby-Doo at least. And it birthed the Hex Girls, which definitely, even if you didn't watch Scooby-Doo, probably influenced your taste in people. So, I guess that's Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost, right? So I double featured it with Scooby-Doo and the Legend of the Vampire. Upon having this discussion about Witch's Ghost, I had come to realize that my partner had never seen Legend of the Vampire, which is what prompted me to go, oh, we gotta watch both then. We gotta see both Hex Girls appearances, because I always thought Legend of the Vampire was the first Hex Girl appearance. But after watching it back to back, I do realize that they recognize her and they go like, hey, it's the Hex Girls. And now that I say that out loud, I just realized that they knew who the Hex Girls were in The Witch's Ghost too. At least some of them did, because they're an established band. What do they call themselves? Fucking like eco-goths? Which I don't fully understand what that means. Is that kind of like implying that they're vegan? I think they mentioned something about that. Anyway. Legend of the Vampire, turns out, spoilers, one of my favorite Scooby-Doos. Between Legend of the Vampire, Ghoul School, and Cyber Chase, which is directed by the guy who did Legend of the Vampire. Which is why I bring up the connection I said about like the structure of it being similar to Cyber Chase, is because I think that director or maybe that team figured out like maybe not like an algorithm, but some sort of formula to set up Scooby-Doo with, like, just replace this with that, and you have a completely different story that you can tell differently. Yeah, the whole thing takes place in Australia, which, as an adult, I realize maybe I've always been interested in Australia. Because I could think through my life, and like, I do find Australia pretty fucking interesting, and as afraid of large insects and killer animals as I am, I'm still deeply interested in going. I don't even like to surf. I don't like the sun. I don't like sand. But I want to go to Australia. Yeah. But I also hate seafood, and I want to go to Japan. So, like, whatever. It's just a thing. It's proof that I shouldn't travel, and reasons I want to travel. Because I'm not going to be able to eat most of the shit that's there, because I'm going to be like, bleh. But I also just am deeply interested in going to places. And seeing movies there. Like, I want to go to Rome and visit that movie shop that Luigi... is it Luigi Cozzi? The guy who directed Contamination and his friend's assistant director for Argento on a few things. That guy's cool. He's a fella. But Scooby-Doo and the Legend of the Vampire takes place in Australia. It has... I always thought it was the one with Kiss in it, but it turns out it's because there's a Kiss ripoff band in it. It's like a group that's trying to bring back glam rock, like costumed metalheads with gimmicky looks to them. And now they're vampires, and they're haunting people, and Scooby-Doo shows up, and they're like, hey, there's a haunting going on. There's, like, evil vampires that are shutting down the show. And he's like, nuh-uh. I want to see the show, therefore I'm going to stop the vampires. And then, the movie happens. I don't really know where to go with that. It has good red herring. So much so that even after knowing most of it, like knowing that it wasn't actually a vampire and whatever, and like knowing what it is, I still kind of believed it was the red herring until they revealed the killer, or the mystery. It has a really interesting vibe, and maybe this goes back to what I said about School of Rock during my top 20 episode of, like, I think maybe just band-related movies speak to me in a specific way, because my whole family grew up as musicians. I'm the least musically gifted of everyone I know, and it's only for a lack of trying, because I'm the least motivated person I've ever met. And I think I yelled at my piano teacher when I was in, like, 4th grade because he was annoying me. I was trying to be hands-on and, like, trying to lean into learning music. So, and being asthmatic, I couldn't do fucking wind instruments or anything. So, like, I passed out playing the flute once. So I moved to piano, and turns out the school doesn't offer piano lessons, so I had to go to the fucking music den. And I was like, hey, can I learn... It was a Nirvana song. I don't know which Nirvana song it was. But he was trying to get me to learn how to identify notes. And he's like, how does the song start? And I'm like... I think I said the lyrics. It's like one baby to another. And he's like, no, that's not what it is. And then he was trying to get me to identify the first note so I can, like, I guess find the key that the music is in or something. I don't know. But he just kept going, no, how does it start? No, how does it start? And I'm like, I don't fucking know, dude. I didn't curse at him. I was like 9. But yeah, I am an unmotivated person when it comes to music, and I'm also very familiar with music because I grew up around it. My father is a recording studio. My mother was in countless bands. My brother is a very skilled fucking drummer. Um, my sister busks, which is a really the way I say it sounds a little disrespectful, but um, everyone in my family plays music except me. I have a anyway. I think that's why Legend of the Vampire is such a good Scooby-Doo to me, because even though the mystery may not be super thick, and it might not have the best animation, because I actually I did not like the Hex Girls animation nearly as much as I did. But like I said, the difference in animators, I can just tell the entire movie is completely different. I really like the score in Legend of the Vampire. It was it's very OG with like it doing kind of like theremin kind of like horror sounds, the ooh, like little score in the background that kind of sets the tone for like, oh, they're walking. But Legend of the Vampire compared to Witch's Ghost, it's actually something I specifically say in my review, is that it's so much more traditional Scooby-Doo. And I mean, it's kind of what I said about the Witch's Ghost being one of the most unique Scooby-Doos. It kind of, it's the same thing. I'm saying the same thing, just from a different perspective. But, like, it's such a traditional Scooby-Doo in such a good way. So it has the score, which they modernize because there is some, like record scratching and, there's some decent beats that happen in the score, but there's just a lot of it. There's a lot of score. Whenever something isn't happening that would cause like upbeat music to play, there's little ominous music playing instead. Kind of like an MC Chris skit. When someone like gets cut off, the music will cut off, and then someone else will jump in, and the music will start back up again. It really hits. It works really, really well. Then there's also, and I didn't think I'd actually care about it until I saw it, but they brought back, and maybe they didn't get rid of it in Witch's Ghost, but they definitely had way, 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 way less of it. But Legend of the Vampire has some classic Scooby-Doo side-scroll moments. How do I explain that exactly? Or how do I expand on that? So, there's like it's a very Scooby-Doo thing, and it's mostly for filler, I think. At least back in the day, it was mostly for filler. But they would just have these long sequences, or no, it's actually probably more for budget, because it's just a repeating animation. It's just the gang walking in a straight line. And, Fred is in the front, Shaggy and Scooby are in the back. Like, it's that. It's literally, it's them. I think sometimes they shuffle them around, but generally that's the order. And then Velma and is usually like in front of Shaggy, and then Daphne is behind. Anyway, there's these scenes like that where they're just walking in a straight line, 2D from left to right, and the background is just like a rolling, separately animated background that's just like a repeating background, and it's probably not very interesting, but considering I'm watching a Scooby-Doo movie, I think it's amazing. There's something about, because that's when they do the little like cutaways and stuff. Like, that's when Shaggy hears a sound and he stops walking while the gang keeps walking, and he turns around and sees big red eyes just like glowing out of the forest. And it seems like that you need the side scroll. You need that slow downtime to, because it's basically like low effort jump scares, or not even low effort jump scares, maybe low impact jump scares, because they're kind of telegraphed with like the sound of bats flying before it cuts to the scary eyes. And then it'll linger on the eyes for a little too long so that you know that they're kind of fake, or at least it's not gonna hurt you. Like, it's just a very specific thing that Scooby-Doo, I think, needs. I think Scooby-Doo needs it. Scooby-Doo needs it. Jeez, I'm 50 minutes in. I've only done 3 movies. I'm so sorry. So I'm just gonna move on from there because I think that's kind of everything. It's one of my favorite Scooby-Doos. It's animated in a way I don't love. The score is outstanding. The setting is great. I love the vampires. I love the band stuff, and it's good. Australia too, I guess. Moving on to the next day. This would be Wednesday, I guess. And this is when. Wednesday, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, so Wednesday 15th is I watched Burnt. Look, we're back at where we started. Burnt. Where I thought the week started at Wednesday, April the 15th. Burnt. Another cooking film but this time starring Bradley Cooper. And rather than being a romance film, this is more of like a... what kind of film is it? I mean, it's obviously like a drama because it's about a guy. It's about Bradley Cooper, who, in the very first few minutes of the film, they kind of spell it out for you, but he had like a major drug problem. And he did something that like ruined a friendship or something, and he decided to better himself, and to do that he spent however many years, I think it was like 3 or 4 years, shucking oysters. He specifically wants to shuck 1 million oysters as like a penance for his sins to life or whatever. Well, he finishes his goal. He comes back into town. He's like, "Hey, I'm back in town. I'm ready to work. I'm fixed. I'm good. I'm ready to be the best chef in town." And he's also, prior to all this happening, he's like a 2 Michelin star chef, and the whole point of the film is his goal of getting a 3-star Michelin rating. And I mean, that's kind of it. He pulls like a Nick Fury, and the first third of the film is him getting a team of elite cooks together to make the ultimate kitchen. He's building the ultimate kitchen team. What do you call a team of cooks? It's not a line, because line cooks are different from cooks. Yes, I'm sorry, but there's a difference. I'm not saying it's any less hard, but the title is different. The type of work is different. What the fuck am I talking? Yeah, he's building himself a team of the best chefs around. And some of them he doesn't like, some of them he really likes, some of them he has to like beg and like make deals with, and it's very just Nick Fury. He's just putting a team together. If you remember, I think it's First Class, X-Men First Class, where James McAvoy walks into a bar. He goes, "Are you Logan?" He says, "Fuck off." He goes, "Okay," and like it's like that kind of energy, but without the fuck off part. Just like, "Hey, I'm going around. I'm trying to find some friends that want to do something. I'm trying to start a band, and I need some bandmates." Seriously though, what's the chef equivalent of saying bandmates? It can't just be constituents or associates or co-worker. It can't be. It has to be something, right? I'll have to ask my partner when they get in the car. But that's what's going on, and he's basically putting them through like chef boot camp, and he is the ultimate. He's being Gordon Ramsay on TV. He's doing everything to the utmost extreme. He's saying if it's not perfect, you don't serve it. You know, he's getting into the gourmet food mentality, and he's using like a militaristic tactic of like not necessarily fear, but pressure and kind of just pushing people. He's pushing people to their limits because he knows that people at their limits can be their best, but only if they are the best to begin with. He has this cool little monologue halfway through the film where he invites some pompous bitch out to lunch, and she's like, "Why the fuck did you bring me to a Burger King?" He's like, "What, is Burger King too good for, or not? Are you too good for Burger King?" And she goes, "Yeah, I am actually. I am too good for Burger King." And he goes, "What's the only difference between Burger King and us?" And he goes, "Consistency. Consistency is death," which is the most contradictory thing, but also like it's weird. I'm getting kind of emotional about it because it's true. It's a really good analogy, or is it even an analogy if it's still just food on food? But it's just a really good use of words. Him eating a Whopper, going like this was meticulously designed and made to be cooked efficiently and served consistently. He said the only difference is that they figured it out and honed it down to one thing rather than whatever the fuck he's doing, which, you know, elevating and whatever. He's basically just saying, like, all food is worth appreciating, and all food has some sort of effort put into it. And all people of the food world, kind of shooting myself in the foot after saying line cooks aren't the same as real cooks, but no, I shouldn't say it like that. Line cooks and chefs. There's no such thing as a real cook. All right, we're getting into fucking anyone can cook kind of territories here. We're talking Ratatouille here. But that's just it. It's like he's striving for perfection, and he's a perfectionist, and he doesn't like modern cooking. He's very much like he hates the idea of sous vide. There's a really, really, really interesting scene where he goes to a sous vide restaurant. Sous vide is, I think that's how you pronounce it. It's where you like low temp cook food in plastic bags to like infuse flavor really deeply. But Bradley Cooper hates it. He thinks it's so pretentious. He thinks it takes the love out of food because, and he says these exact words, "I love the violence," when he's talking about like why he likes cooking. He likes the intensity and the chaos of working in a kitchen. And when you work in a sous vide kitchen, it's dead quiet. And that's what the scene is. It looks like you're entering like an Apple store at 5 a.m. Like it's just a white room with like a couple of tables laid out really far apart and just no sound. It's dead quiet. It's just, I think you hear maybe like a little buzz of like the water heater. It kind of sounds like a water pump for like a fish tank. And it's distressing. It's like, it's really weird because, I mean, it's obviously what the film is trying to do. And maybe it's us, my partner and I, understanding the dislike of sous vide and kind of like the pretentiousness of modern French cooking, or what it could get to at least. So like that fear is instilled on you, and then you get to see it, and you're like, oh, like this really is a different environment. Like this is not the same. He is not the same cook that people in the food world expect. I was almost going to bring up a movie I just watched last night. Was it last night? No. Anyway, Burnt. There's oh no. I shouldn't have started talking about Burnt. I just got some PTSD. Oh, no, 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 no. So, Burnt, right? This film I've been talking about. 2015's Burnt, starring Bradley Cooper from the year 2015. The film titled Burnt. During a very, very important scene, it was like the first night he has the opportunity to earn his 3rd Michelin star. And he obviously has to trust his kitchen, and he does. Like, he goes in saying, like, we're going to do this, but some guy intentionally fucks it up. That's, like, part of the scene. But that, or is it the one after that? Either way, it's one of those scenes where he's like, I gotta be perfect, and it gets really serious, and the music overthrows the sound of the film, and it's just, but guess what the music is? It's not just a song, right? It's not just a song that was reused from another movie. Cellar Door from the Donnie Darko soundtrack plays. And you might be thinking like, it's just a song from another movie, that's no big deal. No, this is the score. This is music that was made for Donnie Darko in 2003, 2002. Like, this song, Cellar Door, is emotionally connected to, like, some really fucked shit in that movie. Like, the whole mystery of the film almost exclusively revolves around that song. Like, and they take this song, Cellar Door, which I know almost by heart. I didn't know by name. I had to look it up. I had to Shazam it because I do listen to the Donnie Darko soundtrack, and I just know it. I know it, not by heart, but enough to say that's the Donnie Darko soundtrack. And I didn't want to call it out until I confirmed it, but it is the original score. It's not like they took, I can't think of Head Over Heels and played it, which would be really unfitting for that scene, to be honest. But, like, that's just a song that exists that happens to be in Donnie Darko. But this is a song that was ripped. As far as I'm aware, the only public recording of it, like, that you can access is through the Donnie Darko soundtrack. I don't think you could look up that artist and find a non-Donnie Darko soundtrack labeled version of Cellar Door. I don't think you can do it. Watch, it's probably super easy, and it's just because I never bothered to do it, but I'm just assuming, like, it's just because it's on the Donnie Darko, it's the score, dude. But yeah, that was a real shot in the foot for me. I loved the appearance of it, but it wasn't what the film needed. It didn't need me to go, oh my god, that's Donnie Darko. It needed me to go, oh my god, he needs to succeed, or else he's gonna probably kill himself. Like, that's the thing that's going on in that scene, and it's really crazy that they pulled Donnie Darko for it. That was good. But yeah, Burnt, so I rated it lower than No Reservations, but I do think it's more watchable. And that's a really weird thing for me to say, because I don't normally love to, I gotta watch this totally non-amazing film. But if I was to say, like, what are your most rewatchable cooking films, it's going to be Ratatouille, Chef, and probably Burnt. Definitely in last place, because Ratatouille and Chef are amazing. I'm also saying Ratatouille like that because I heard Dr. Leo Spaceman say it in 5 Year Engagement. I normally just say Ratatouille. Rat and patootie. But, it's good. I mean, it's really good. It gets a little annoying seeing Bradley Cooper do the Gordon Ramsay thing, because clearly it was just kind of like, okay, this is my Gordon Ramsay moment. Someone literally, I think it was actually not Bradley Cooper, but another character, also trying to pull a what the fuck is his name? Gordon Ramsay. She literally yells, "It's fucking raw!" and throws something. Like, it's just like, and it's funny, it's good, but it's also just me going like, I think this was like the height. 2015 was around the height of like Gordon Ramsay becoming a meme. So I think that kind of hurts my opinion of it a little bit. And the fact that, no, that's kind of it. I was going to say that you don't necessarily need to act like that in the kitchen to get respect, but the whole thing with Gordon Ramsay is that that's just like the environment that he decided to make his kitchen, and that's the environment that Bradley Cooper's character likes to be in. He likes to be in a kitchen where people are yelling and throwing shit. Not actually throwing shit, but like he likes the chaos. Burnt is a good movie. Not as good as No Reservations, but way more watchable. Is it shorter? It's 100 minutes versus No Reservations is probably longer. 104. So it's actually they're the exact same length. No Reservations is 4 minutes longer. Right, and that's another thing about this film too, that Bradley Cooper sells the chef's need to be arrogant. It's like a surgeon. You can't have a surgeon go, yeah, I'm pretty good. Like, that's the episode of Scrubs. You can't have a modest surgeon. You can't have a modest chef. Chefs need to be able to place a food in front of you and go, this is the greatest thing you'll ever have. And I guarantee it, because the expectations and like the energy that's brought to a plate is also part of how people experience it. Because food isn't just taste. I'm not going to get into the philosophical stuff about food. Maybe if I watch like an Alton Brown movie or something. Has he ever been in a movie? He should be in a movie. Alton Brown should be in a movie. He could play like Woody Allen or something. Christ. Yeah, it's good. The reason I bring up the arrogance thing is because I looked at the quote I pulled, and it's actually one of my favorite lines in the film. It's one of the things that I not resonated with, but it stuck with me for the longest time. Is that here? I'm just gonna read the quote. He's talking to a kid he's trying to recruit. He says, "Your resume is great. This lamb is fucking fantastic, but you lack arrogance. And to be in my kitchen, you have to defend yourself. Because someone is going to throw a fuck you at you, and he doesn't want you to be able to take it. He wants you to fight back." And saying all this about Bradley Cooper's like energy in the kitchen, I think a real resonance for me is that it totally reflects my partner. My partner is huge into food. I mean, they like the cooking movies and stuff, but they were a cook for a decent amount of time. However long my mom's bar was open, they were there in the kitchen doing work. And they are very much the exact same way that Bradley Cooper is in here. They like the high energy. They like the loud voices. They like the screaming. They like... It's almost like an outlet, in a sense. It's an outlet that... So, on top of the kitchen energy being frantic, it's also but you lack arrogance thing, that chefs need arrogance. That is something that I think I associate with my partner mostly because we watched this movie 10 years ago, and I kind of, like I said, it stuck with me that chefs need to be arrogant. But yeah, that's just like a thing. It's like, it's the same reason my partner has to be a leader, is because the energy of a leader is what sets the energy of the workplace. And if the workplace isn't the right energy, it's not the right workplace. So that's Burnt. Good. Now this is going to be... I might have to stop here, actually. So next on the list... So the next day is Thursday, right? Thursday. I normally would be working Thursday and Friday, but last week I took off for a vacation. and we took a day off before and after the vacation to prep and decompress. So I had a whole day to watch movies. It looks like on that Thursday I watched 2, 4, 6 films. Yeah, that tracks. And I'm going to try and go through them, but it's going to start off with a rough one, and I'm actually probably going to gloss over it, and I'm just going to say the words and maybe just a small opinion on it. I finished season 2 of Twin Peaks. So, as the Letterboxd community has agreed, once you finish season 2, you can log the original Twin Peaks pilot that's on Letterboxd as you completed Twin Peaks. Right, that is Twin Peaks. Seasons 1 and 2 is Twin Peaks. Then there's Fire Walk with Me, and then there's The Return, which I haven't watched yet. I've seen Fire Walk with Me 15 years ago, but I don't remember anything but Bob and the cool floor pattern. But yeah, I finished season 2 of Twin Peaks, and what I did for it, I think I mentioned it on one of my first few episodes. I am writing have written a detailed series of notes. It's 200 pages of notes that I wrote, which are just reflecting my internal thoughts as I watched Twin Peaks. I read through some of it. It's 200 pages long. I'm not going to read through the entire thing. Maybe one day I will, but the whole thing is it's there. I journaled my thoughts. I cataloged the things I was thinking at the time. And I thought it was a great experience. It was really cool. And I got a really great response from everyone on Letterboxd about it too. It's a really cool post. And the fact that it crashes my app if I try to edit it, it gets so long. It's so fucking long. I couldn't copy paste everything at once. I had to copy paste it in 7 different sections because it would overwhelm the Letterboxd app and it wouldn't let me post it. It wouldn't fill it in. It would stop at episode 15 of season 2, which is pretty far, but it was a headache. But it's funny now because now I can't even edit my review. So it is as is forever. Any spelling errors, any tags or anything. And I didn't mark it as spoilers. So if you want to like the post, which I do appreciate my friends who do, I'm scrolling, that's what you're hearing. Yeah, all of this is me trying to scroll to the bottom. There we go. 7 people have made it to the bottom. Very thankful for that. It's also highly detailed in spoilers, so I'm assuming anybody who hasn't seen it has no intention of reading it. But it was mostly just for me, and I was really excited to share it with Melissa as well, because she's kind of the one who basically convinced me to send it on Twin Peaks. I've always been kind of aware of it, but she's the one that kind of after watching some David Lynch and stuff and just experiencing things, it was time. And I did it, but I didn't tell her, and I'm like, hey, now that I finished season 2, here's my 200-page notes, so that you can see every little single thought I had while going through it. And it was great. It's a great response. I love it. That's Twin Peaks. I'll hopefully one day talk about an entire episode, probably more. Next, after that, this is all on the same day, by the way. This is all on Thursday. We watched Firestarter, the 1984 Firestarter. I mostly put this on because it's one of the last 2 movies on my flash drive, so I can wipe the whole thing. But I've never seen the original Firestarter. I watched the first half of the Zac Efron one. And I listened to podcasts about the book. Just King Things is the go-to for that. I don't know why I plugged it. No one that listens to me is going to listen to that. Anyway. Firestarter, Drew Barrymore. Dude. Holy shit, man. This film goes hard. So, this film has a De Laurentiis adaptation of Stephen King, right? Starring David Keith, featuring Martin Sheen and George C. Scott, sorry. Amazing names, like huge people involved in this film. And yet the only thing I can say I definitively loved every second of is Drew Barrymore. A 9-year-old girl carries this film. And like, yeah, it's about her. But like, she's the one that drives the film. I don't think... Yeah, David Keith did not give me anything that Drew Barrymore would have given me tenfold. She was just amazing from the first time she's on set, like on screen. It's really wild. And my partner told me some pretty fucked up shit about Drew Barrymore. Apparently, because her family is entirely like, the Barrymores are ingrained into cinema. Both mother and father, I think, are movie stars, and I'm pretty sure her grandfather is as well. But it goes, like, their name goes back pretty far. And my partner told me that almost the entirety of Drew Barrymore's childhood, her parents kept her, like, sedated. Like that one bitch who killed her mom. That doesn't deserve to have a public presence the way she does. But, you know. What was I talking about? But yeah, so they had her sedated. And that's kind of scary. Especially considering how into the role she got. Because she's like really, 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 really good. And I hate child actors. Not because they're bad. I don't mind when a child actor is bad. I don't care if a child actor is bad. But morally speaking, probably for this exact reason of like Drew Barrymore's life is children should not be in movies. There's no reason they should be in movies. And anytime that there could be children in movies, put an old guy. I guarantee it'll be better. I watched, what was that Martin Short film? Where he plays a child. And it's proof. It's proof that adults can play funny children. And it doesn't take away from the film whatsoever. But yeah, that I'm really conflicted on that. I'm not conflicted. I have a strong opinion that Firestarter is only good because Drew Barrymore is in it. But also child actors have no reason to be subjected to any form of that lifestyle. It also became a little concerning about the sedation thing with George C. Scott's character. Not actually, but like it just didn't help knowing that, because most of the film, so the first third of the film is Drew Barrymore and her father running away from the government. The government's hunting them. Spoiler alert, they have powers. The father can make people, they have like, he has like the Jedi mind trick essentially, but like way cooler. And Drew Barrymore can pyrokinesis. She can create fire. She can set things on fire with her brain. And the first third of the film is them avoiding the government that's trying to capture them to do experiments on them, and her trying to hone her abilities as a fire starter. But they do get caught. It's literally like really early in the film. I was kind of surprised because the remake really holds on to that escape. But yeah, the government captures them, and then the father and daughter are immediately separated. And this is like as per the plan of the scientists that are going to do experiments on them. They want, basically they're like, she will never meet her father again. Like, that is the declarative, like, for everything to work out correctly and for her to become ours, she can never see her father again. So the next while was her being like, when can I see my dad? When can I see my dad? And George C. Scott just like lying to her, like, oh, soon. I think he calls her baby, which is really gross. That's kind of what I was getting with the like gross children in movie thing, is because, yes, it's in a movie, but George C. Scott's being a little fucking weird with Drew Barrymore in this film. She's in, like... Anyway. It's just a weird happening. But that's like most of the film, is her trying to get to her dad and the government being like, nah, not yet. But even though they have zero intention of actually doing it at all. And in that process, George C. Scott is convincing this little girl. He's doing... What did I describe it as? Yeah, manipulating her into becoming a guinea pig is what I said. He's like, why don't you like them? And she's like, oh, because they want me to do pyrokinesis and do tests on me. And he goes, so why not just give them what they want? He's basically telling this little girl, like, it's easier to give in to the demands of people that are making you do something you are uncomfortable doing, than it is to fight and resist. Which is true. It's true, right? But that is the exact same mentality that, like, rape victims have to work through. And he's basically preconditioning her to be like, all right, if I'm getting raped, I might as well just keep getting raped because it's easier than fighting him off. And that's not what's happening. That's not what's happening in the film, but that's the exact mentality that's being instilled on this child. Is that he's telling this little 9-year-old girl, put your body in a situation you don't want to be in at the small chance of them reciprocating with a positive reward, as if she needs to be rewarded with the ability to see her father again, even though that's never going to happen. So he's conditioning this girl to do stuff for nothing in return, because as much as she's being convinced that she should be doing these things because they'll probably let her see her father again, she's also being manipulated and conditioned to be okay with never seeing her father again by keeping her away from him for so long that she becomes used to not being him, and then in hopes that maybe she'll stop asking about him. It's real fucked, dude. It's really, 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 really fucked. The last sentence of the paragraph where I talk about this in my review is, maybe it's best that Stephen King became comfortable killing children in his stories, because the ones that survive experience worse than death. This girl is turned into a fucking guinea pig. And it's the same thing that happened in, like, The Boys, too. If you want to really, like, modernize the idea. Because I didn't really explain what the government was doing, but it's kind of like what happened in The Boys, where the government invented superheroes, but refused to let them out of their control. Yeah. Wow. Just thinking about it's fucked. Like, he goes, so why not do it? At least then you get to do it on your own terms. Or you get to convince yourself that you're doing it on your own terms when you're really not. And this also sparked a thought. I won't get into it much because I think actually, no, I didn't really talk about it too much when I talked about Bad Lieutenant either. But this conversation, this like conditioning that's happening to Drew Barrymore reminds me very, very, very much. Sorry, I'm using multiple, what is that? What are those words? I don't know. Adverbs? I don't know. But it reminds me so much of Bad Lieutenant with the nurse. Or not the nurse, the nun. Jesus Christ. Yeah, the nun. Like, there's that scene where she says, like, I am also guilty of this rape because I didn't make an effort to fight back. She's like, I am equally at fault because I let it happen. And that's a little extreme, sure. That's going too far because there is still force. Force exists, and that's a completely different thing. But what she's saying is that because she didn't fight off and try and do something to stop these boys rather than just stop the rape, it is also her fault. Well, that's what she thinks. She blames herself as much as she blames the boys that raped her. And it's like, I think I'm walking in circles with this one, but it's almost like the complete opposite condition. It's the same kind of situation, but they're two different mentalities of looking at it. Of like, this little girl is being conditioned to not fight back because the government knows that if she knows that she can fight back, that she will. And then with the nun's case is she has no choice in the matter of, like, is this thing gonna happen to her? The only thing she can do is either submit or fight back. And I say fight back in a very generalized sense because she in the movie is talking more about, like, making them see the bright side and morals and stuff, very religious, passive kind of stuff. But the idea is still there. And I think it's I don't know, it makes me think about it a lot. It's really that whole idea of autonomy and the ability to have control over yourself and the things around you. And yeah, it's a good film. I didn't love Firestarter start to finish. Like I said, really the only times I loved the film was Drew Barrymore, and I didn't mention it, but the pyrotechnics are really cool too. Just people getting set on fire, and some people are on fire for a pretty long time. Like, crazy shit. But it's a solid movie. Damn, I didn't get to... I don't think I'm gonna have time for much more. I might have to stop it there. So I'm gonna stop there, I guess. It talked about the least eventful films I watched over the weekend. Or from the last week. It's the weekend, really, where good stuff happens. So I'm actually kind of excited because maybe I can skip over... I probably won't skip over them, to be honest, but I'll do my best. So I guess that's it. anythingbutted@gmail.com if you want to contact me for some reason. I'm reading a book that hopefully I'm going to talk about, so hopefully this isn't... I shouldn't say hopefully. This is, as of right now, not exclusively a film podcast. Yeah. And that's okay. It's literally Tastes Like Tea. It's about me. I haven't said that in a while. I don't even remember how it goes. I don't think I ever actually established how it should go, right? anythingbutted@gmail.com, though, if you want to contact me. And yeah, this is this, I don't want to say it. Now that I've been thinking about it, I don't want to say it. You have been listening to Taste Like Tea, a podcast about me. I am T, and T is me. Jesus Christ.